Ever wondered how a civilization that built the pyramids, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, saw the universe? What powerful beings did they believe controlled the sun, the afterlife, and even love itself? Get ready, because today we are journeying back thousands of years to the land of pharaohs and hieroglyphs to unlock the secrets of the most powerful gods and goddesses in ancient Egypt. From the creator god who sailed across the sky to the lord of the underworld who weighed human hearts, their stories are more epic than any blockbuster movie. Let's begin our journey with the most powerful of them all, Ra, the sun god. Imagine this: every single morning, Ra would begin a perilous journey across the sky in his solar barge, the Manjid. He wasn't just bringing light and warmth to the world, he was battling chaos and darkness. As the sun set, Ra would descend into the underworld, the Duat, switching to his night barge, the Mesektet. Here, he transformed into a ram-headed deity and had to face his ultimate nemesis, the monstrous serpent Apep, who tried to swallow the sun and plunge the world into eternal darkness. Every sunrise was a victory, a sign that Ra had once again defeated chaos, ensuring that life, order, and creation would continue for another day. He was the king of the gods, the divine father of the pharaohs, and the ultimate source of all life. His main cult center was at Heliopolis, which literally means city of the sun. People would build massive temples in his honor, believing that by worshipping Ra, they were upholding the very fabric of the cosmos. Now, let's talk about a story of love, betrayal, and resurrection that has captivated people for millennia. The myth of Osiris, Isis, and Horus. Osiris was a wise and just king who ruled over Egypt, teaching humanity agriculture and law. He was beloved by all, except for his jealous brother, Set, the god of chaos and storms. Set tricked Osiris into a beautifully crafted chest, sealed it shut, and threw it into the Nile. Osiris's devoted wife, Isis, a powerful goddess of magic and healing, was heartbroken. She searched tirelessly for her husband's body, finally finding it and using her immense magic to bring him back to life just long enough to conceive their son, Horus. But Set's treachery wasn't over. He found Osiris's body again, dismembered it into 14 pieces, and scattered them across Egypt. Undeterred, the determined Isis, along with her sister Nephthys, painstakingly gathered every piece. With the help of Anubis, the god of mummification, they wrapped Osiris's body, performing the very first mummification ritual. This act transformed Osiris. While he could no longer rule in the land of the living, he became the powerful and respected ruler of the underworld, the lord of the Duat. There, he offered eternal life to the righteous, becoming a symbol of resurrection and hope for all Egyptians. He would judge the souls of the dead in the Hall of Two Truths, promising that death was not an end, but a new beginning. So, what happened to the son of Isis and Osiris? This is where Horus, the falcon-headed god, swoops into our story. Raised in secret by his mother Isis to protect him from his murderous uncle Set, Horus grew up with one purpose: to avenge his father and reclaim his rightful throne. When he came of age, Horus challenged Set in a series of epic battles that lasted for 80 years. These weren't just physical fights, they were cosmic struggles between order and chaos. In one legendary conflict, Set tore out Horus's left eye, which was then magically restored by the god Thoth. This restored eye became the famous Ajah eye, or the Eye of Horus, a powerful symbol of protection, healing, and royal power. Ultimately, a tribunal of the gods judged in Horus's favor, declaring him the rightful king of Egypt. Set was banished to the desert, continuing his role as a god of chaos, but now contained. Every reigning pharaoh was considered the living embodiment of Horus, his earthly manifestation. This divine connection legitimized their rule and linked the earthly kingdom directly to the celestial one. Horus represents rightful succession, divine kingship, and the ultimate triumph of good over evil. No exploration of Egyptian gods is complete without paying homage to the master of the afterlife, Anubis. You've probably seen his iconic image, a man with the head of a jackal. But why a jackal? Well, jackals were often seen scavenging around cemeteries, so the ancient Egyptians associated them with death and burial. But Anubis wasn't a scavenger, he was a protector. He was the god of mummification and the afterlife. Anubis played a crucial role in the journey of the soul. He would guide the deceased through the underworld to the Hall of Two Truths for their final judgment. His most famous task was the weighing of the heart. The heart of the deceased, believed to contain their life's deeds, was placed on a scale opposite Ma''s feather of truth. Anubis would adjust the scales, ensuring a fair judgment. If the heart was lighter than the feather, the soul was deemed worthy and granted eternal life in the field of reeds with Osiris. If it was heavier, it was devoured by the fearsome beast Ammit, and the soul would cease to exist. Anubis wasn't a figure of fear, but one of comfort and reassurance, a guide who ensured a safe and just passage into the next life. Let's now turn to the god of wisdom, writing, and magic, the brilliant Thoth. Often depicted as a man with the head of an ibis or as a baboon, Thoth was the scribe of the gods. He was credited with the invention of hieroglyphs, the sacred writing of ancient Egypt. He was the master of knowledge, the keeper of sacred texts, and the divine record keeper. In the courtroom of the gods, during the epic battle between Horus and Set, it was Thoth who recorded the proceedings and helped mediate the dispute. In the Hall of Two Truths, as Anubis weighed the heart, it was Thoth who recorded the verdict. He was a lunar deity, and his silver light was seen as the counterpart to Ra's golden sun. His wisdom was so great that he was believed to have written 42 books containing all the world's knowledge, including spells and magical rituals. Worshipping Thoth was about honoring intelligence, learning, and the power of the written word. He was the patron of scribes, who were highly respected members of Egyptian society. Of course, the Egyptian pantheon was filled with powerful goddesses as well, and one of the most complex is Hathor. She was the goddess of love, beauty, music, dance, and motherhood, often shown as a cow-headed woman or a woman with a headdress of cow horns holding a sun disk. She was a protector of women and a goddess of joy and celebration. Festivals in her honor were lively affairs filled with music and dancing. But Hathor had a fiercer side. In one myth, Ra sent her to punish humanity for plotting against him. She transformed into the ferocious lioness goddess, Sekhmet, and went on a rampage. Her bloodlust was so great that Ra had to trick her into drinking beer dyed red to look like blood. She became drunk, fell asleep, and woke up as the gentle Hathor again. This story shows her dual nature, the nurturing, life-giving force, and the destructive power that protected the divine order. She was both a loving mother and a fierce protector, embodying the complex nature of femininity. We also have Bastet, who started as a fierce lioness goddess of Lower Egypt, much like Sekhmet in Upper Egypt. Over time, however, her image softened into that of the domestic cat. Cats were highly revered in ancient Egypt, partly because they protected homes and granaries from snakes and vermin. Bastet became the goddess of the home, fertility, childbirth, and the protector of the pharaoh. She was a gentle, protective deity who brought good fortune and health. Killing a cat, even accidentally, was a serious crime. Mummified cats have been found by the thousands in her cult center at Bubastis, showing just how deeply she was revered. Finally, we can't forget the formidable goddess of war and healing, Sekhmet. Her name literally means the powerful one. Depicted as a lioness-headed woman, she was the goddess of the scorching desert sun, plagues, and chaos, but also a master of healing and medicine. She was the Eye of Ra, his instrument of vengeance, as we saw in Hathor's story. Priests of Sekhmet were often skilled doctors, as they sought to pacify the fierce goddess and channel her power for healing rather than destruction. She represents a powerful, untamable force of nature, the searing heat of the sun that could both destroy life and purge disease. Worshipping her was a way to appease this raw power, hoping to turn her wrath into protection and her destructive force into a source of miraculous cures. From Ra's daily journey to Osiris's eternal kingdom, these incredible stories weren't just myths, they were the foundation of Egyptian culture, law, and their understanding of life and death. They gave meaning to the sunrise, the flooding of the Nile, and the very concept of justice. The world of the Egyptian gods is a vast and fascinating one, and we've only scratched the surface today. Which god's story did you find most compelling? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for journeying back in time with me. If you enjoyed this deep dive into ancient mythology, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure. See you next time.